What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. And today we're going to be breaking down why Nature's Prophet has a 46.93% win rate. This hero is one of these heroes that can be played practically in any position, but nowadays is mostly a support. Carry Prophet is no longer a thing, but I have seen a few players here and there in the Immortal bracket playing Carry Prophet. It's not very reliable, but I think he's a really strong position 4. I don't think he's a great 5 just because he needs enough levels and he wants to be able to leave the lane. So if you guys are playing with sustainable offlaners like Axe, like Mars, these types of heroes that can easily stay in lane by themselves because they're super tanky, then you can easily play Prophet with them and you're going to have a really good time. You can also get them kills. Playing Prophet Mars is a really strong lane just because once you get them in Sprout, it's going to be a free spear for the Mars, and that's also very important. You're going to be able to get a lot more kills in that lane. It's a really strong lane. I highly recommend you guys play that lane. Now I'm going to be breaking down the build for Nature's Prophet. Now Prophet is one of these heroes that can build almost anything and it'll feel good. The most practical build you can play on Prophet is Treads Vessel, and then you could either go for an Orchid or Maelstrom Gleipnir. You can go for one of those two options and then eventually get an Aghanim Scepter. You can even go Mage Slayer on this hero. It's still really strong. Even with the nerfs on Mage Slayer, it's still a really strong build on Prophet, especially if you're going to get enough value out of it. If it's a good Mage Slayer game, you could definitely build it on Prophet. Assault Cuirass is also really nice, and for the ultra late game, you can get a Hex. It's a very strong item because most of the time you're going to be doing the initiation, or at least you're going to be jumping the backline. Even as a support, just the ability of you locking players down is a really big deal. You're also going to be able to provide a lot of vision, and you're going to be able to scout with your treants. If you're a strong Nature's Prophet player, there's not much you can't do around the map. The problem is when you're facing up against very aggressive lineups that can easily jump the backline and deal with you, that's when Prophet starts to have an issue. He's not a very tanky hero, and he just doesn't like to play losing games because you're going to be forced to split push, and split push isn't as strong as it used to be. Now with the portals, it's just not as strong because they don't have to have TPs ready. They can just be close to a portal. That way they can reach the other side lanes. It's just not a viable option anymore as it used to. Heroes like Lone Druid that were really strong at split pushing, Nature's Prophet, these heroes are not being used to split push. They're actually being used for team fighting. So most of the time you're going to be maxing out Sprout and you're going to be maxing teleportation. You don't take a single point in treants just because most of the time it's not going to be worth the time. You'd rather have that cooldown on teleportation and that extra damage from Sprout. Sprout is one of your best abilities other than teleport. You're going to be able to lock targets down, especially when you're dealing with ranged supports that don't want to buy a Quelling Blade. It feels really bad to buy a Quelling Blade on a ranged support just to get away from a Nature's Prophet. You're also able to farm the map quite effectively, and if you have a really greedy team that's not giving you any type of space that you can take as a support, then you can always go to the enemy side, put some vision down, and you're able to farm very quickly with Sprout, and you're not interfering with your team's farm, which is one of the better things you can do on this hero. His ultimate is still always going to be really solid, especially with Aghanim Scepter. It's a really strong root, so it's definitely a good possibility if they don't have any dispels and you can get an Aghanim Scepter. Now I'm going to be breaking down his best and worst matchups. So he's typically good up against Lifestealer, Brewmaster, Puck, and Lone Druid. These heroes aren't insanely in meta right now other than Puck. Puck is really meta right now and you're usually an Orchid buyer, so you could definitely have a really good time against these heroes. You also do pretty well against Huskar just because you're a natural vessel builder, and it's always going to be great against Huskar. Locking Huskar down with Sprout is always going to feel great, as Huskar typically does not want to buy a Quelling Blade. It just doesn't fit in his build, so he's not going to be happy about buying a Quelling Blade just to get away from you. You could also build a Halberd that's really going to annoy a hero like Huskar. Now some of his bad matchups are Templar Assassin, Spectre, Morphling, Slark, Broodmother. So basically heroes that could either kill him way too quickly or that can easily get on top of him. Heroes like Templar Assassin can practically one-shot a Nature's Prophet. He just doesn't have a whole lot of armor and a whole lot of HP going for him, so it's not really a good time. Morphling just does anything to you. You don't really threaten him with any of your abilities, you just don't do enough, and a hero like Spectre can just easily get on top of you, Orchid you, and once he pops Blade Mail, there's absolutely nothing you can do on the Nature's Prophet. It's just not a very good matchup for the hero, and if you're playing Core Prophet, even worse. It's just not great. So against these heroes, Vessel is always going to be very nice, so I highly recommend you guys don't miss out on building Vessel on Nature's Prophet. You're going to be getting a lot of value with the damage on Vessel and Sprout. It's going to be very solid chip damage, and it's going to ensure you get quite a few kills, as this hero is really active around the map and definitely does a whole lot of things, and he can easily gank the mid lane. It's very strong. You can contest the water runes So definitely keep in mind on the timers, you can contest the water rune, you can contest the wisdom runes, you can be anywhere around the map. Make sure you have your TP scroll and your teleportation off cooldown, and you're going to be able to get both wisdom runes. You're going to be able to contest for the mid runes, which are always going to be very important, especially when there's a bottle hero involved that can easily benefit from getting the rune. You can always be there to assist them. Let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think about Nature's Prophet. His current win rate is pretty terrible. I just think this hero doesn't get picked a whole lot, but being played as a support, I think he's definitely very viable. I don't think he's the strongest support out there. I don't think he should be played every single game, but if it's a good Prophet game, you're still going to get a ton of value from playing this hero. So definitely don't be scared to pick it just because his win rate's a little bad. He's still a pretty decent support to be played. So if you're a smart player, you're always going to be able to get a lot of value from playing Prophet. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A like would be much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.